Hey there, YouTube. It's your friend and your lover, Saint Riot, and I'm here to talk to you about Elden Ring invasions. Everybody's talking about you can't invade solo hosts, and whether or not that's a good or bad thing, and that's fine, I think, and a conversation that's obviously people are gonna have because people care, people have opinions about it, and I get that. Is that the Eastern Shield? I don't think that thing can parry. Oh, good range. I get it. People want to have the discussion about invasions and not being able to invade solo hosts. Some people want to invade solo host. Some people, like me, don't really care if they ever invade a solo host again. But one thing that is not getting brought up a lot in the discussion is the fact that the online mechanics all are sort of like tied together, and summoning a buddy is kind of like the best easy mode that a video game ever came up with. Because the game doesn't ask you if you want to go to easy mode. It doesn't tell you like, oh, you just beat the game in easy mode. It doesn't do that. It just lets you do it. And then you get to go on about your business. And there are, a ton of people who want to tell you that you did a bad thing and that, you didn't actually beat the game the way it was intended. You used the easy way. But what's great about that conversation is people don't care and they don't have to listen, and they don't. From Software's summon system is like the best easy mode that ever got made. Now, From Software, Bandai Namco, they're never going to come out and say like, hey, these games really aren't as hard as everybody makes them out to be. Ooh, that was nice. They're actually pretty easy. They're never going to do that because the game being hard sells the game. It would break kayfabe if they just came out and said it. So they're not going to, But yeah, the games really aren't that hard. And since they're not that hard, they give you ways to win. And one of the ways they give you to win is summoning. Summoning is like this super dope, really great easy mode that you can do. And it lets you beat the tough part without making you feel bad about it. Now, there's other things you can do that make, like you can just leave. The game's not going to take your progress away. It's not going to take your bonfire away. You can leave. You can find weapon upgrades. You can get a better weapon. You can get more Estus. You can level up. You can come back, right? And then, if all else fails, you can just summon somebody. Invasions being tied to that mechanic is the way that From Software has been going since Bloodborne. And so, it's just how they want to do it. They want the people who are summoning to still feel like they got a little bit of a challenge. And so what they do is they throw an invader at you. But for every really good or really annoying invader that they throw at you, they throw 100 people who have no idea what's going on at you. Right? For every I am Amish you fight 1,000 people who have no idea what anything is in this game. And they just accidentally press the invasion button or something. And you can't tell me I'm wrong because I've seen other invaders. They come into the world and they try and help me, but then they usually just end up killing me. I've seen them. What the hell? Why did that guy do that? Yeah. All you gotta do is beat him once. All you gotta do is beat one of the hundreds of incompetent invaders and then beat the boss, and then you're done. You never have to go back there. You're on your way. You're finished. And you won't be invaded in that zone ever again. You don't have to beat the Amish. You don't have to beat I Am Amish the one time he invades you. You just have to beat the other guy who invaded in between, you know? Also, the fact that there's like an invasion cooldown timer. Unless you're using a dried finger, you're not getting invaded over and over and over and over and over again. Unless you're using a dried finger. So, you know, like even if an invader does show up and kill you, they're not going to be there forever, right? You'll get a chance to make progress without the invader being there. Even if the invader kills you, as long as you don't disconnect. If you disconnect, you don't reset your own invasion timer. But like fighting solo hosts is, for me, not a lot of fun. They don't fight back, they just run, or like they're aware of every advantage they can stack in their favor, and then that's what they do. They stack every advantage in their favor, and it's like either way you go about it, it's not a great time. I would rather not fight solo hosts. I would rather not fight this guy and his NPC summon. Like, now I could Black Crystal out. I could just Black Crystal out of this and leave. But I kind of feel like I owe it to Cringe to, you know, give him a story. He deserves an invasion experience, and so I want to give that to him. You know? Now, he might pull it out, you know? Him and his buddy, Horus. They might find a way to win. They might not. But you never know. The idea of being like the unstoppable juggernaut who shows up and just kills the host has really... I don't care much for that. But... I was talking with small business owner and some other people, and small business owner was like, yeah, maybe it's not fun for you, but it does help tell the story of Dark Souls. That, you know, it's not always going to be fair. It's not always going to be a fair challenge. Sometimes it's going to be unfair. Sometimes you just have to die. And yeah, that's the story of Dark Souls. That's the narrative that they build with all of these games. That's one of the overarching themes of all of From Software's work, is that sometimes it's just not fair and you're going to lose. And when small business owner was like, I was like, yeah, you know, I don't like invading solo hosts. I'm not a big fan of it, but you know, it's like, it made me remember something about these games. That like, while it might not be fun for me or for the other player, it does do something to add to the experience, to the story that the player, the host, experienced. So another, you know, on the topic of that, some people are saying, well, what if there was an item or a covenant? What if there was something you could do that allowed you to opt in to invasions? And like, that's one of those things where, you know, it's a fine idea, but it's not really the same thing, you know? If you're opting in to an invasion, like, just listen to the way that sounds. Like, a big part of the thing about invasions is that they're spontaneous, you know? And so if you get rid of that spontaneity, you get rid of a part of the invasions in general. I can't believe... Why would you do this? Why would you turn on Leon? GG, Leon. Yeah, the spontaneity is a big part of invasions, I think. And so it's a different sort of thing if you give them like an opt-in, in my opinion. It's not the same. It's not the same full-fledged invasion experience where you're not welcoming it and it's spontaneous. You don't know that it's happening, things like that. But I still think that they should give people a way to like opt in. I'll be totally honest. I know there are a lot of people who are like, I like to be invaded. I know I'm gonna lose a lot of the time. I know I'm gonna lose because I'm not as prepared as the invader, but I still like it to happen. You are so few and far between. You are so few and far between. For every one of you, there's, like, you know how I said for every Amish that invades you, there's like 1,000 people who have no idea what they're doing? Well, for every one of you out there who likes to play the game and get invaded and just have an honest invasion experience solo, for every one of you, there's 1,000 people who want to run away, hide, or you know, stack every possible advantage they can get and, you know, double Estus, 30% extra health, weapon upgrade, beyond the invader, 20 levels higher than the invader. You know, that's the majority. There's 1,000 of those, 1,000 of those bonfire duelists, and the 1,000 people who just run straight into the enemies and just get killed by a pile of enemies and waste the invader's time. But that's the thing, is we're not allowed to say, I mean, we're allowed to say it, but we invaded, right? It's on us. It's like when I complain. It's like when I complain about the game when I'm doing a soul level 1 run. You know? The game didn't ask me to play it like this. You know? The game didn't force me to play it this way. It's the same thing with invasions. The game didn't force me to invade. I walked into that, right? So, like, I think it's easy to, like, lose track of perspective there. But at the same time, I don't think they're, like, if you've ever hung out in a Twitch stream and watched somebody do invasions, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. There are, you know, thousands of bonfire duelists who just stand at a bonfire and wait for invaders to show up, and like you're level 60 with +6 weapons, and you invade somebody who's level 80 with +8 weapons. If that happened once in a while, you know, whatever, shrug it off. But like, one thing that's happened to us Dark Souls 3 PvP streamers is after 5 years, every other invasion is that, and it gets old real quick. And when you're a streamer, there's 100 other invaders watching your stream, and they're getting the same thing you're getting. So they start to experience it too. And so they know what's up, you know what I mean? They start to experience it as well. But that is something that will, you know, you won't have to worry about that with Elden Ring, because, you know, if it's anything like Dark Souls 3, when Dark Souls 3 first came out, you could invade 100 times and never see the same person twice, because there's so many people playing the game. And that's a good feeling. So, if I never have to invade another solo host ever again, great. If I do have to invade a solo host ever again, I will try and make it my solemn duty to give them an experience that, you know, they can remember. this guy here, solo host, honest, like, you know, he's honest. He's playing the game, he's by himself. He's actually playing the level. I can respect it. Now, if he wanted to call the cops, I could respect that too. Is he using a broadsword, by the way? Yeah, he is. Oh, damn. Nice damage. It's kind of fitting. It's kind of fitting that, it's kind of fitting that I was like, those guys right there are one in 1,000. And then I happened to get one. Kind of fitting. Kind of fitting. Yeah. If they want to get invaded, they deserve to get invaded, you know. But that's my thoughts. It's indistinguishable from... It's indistinguishable, like, the idea of PvP and the idea of co-op and the idea of easy mode, like, they're interconnected. And we can't start trying to figure out how to jiggle this over here without unhooking that over there. And so, again, this I say this all the time. We always try and come at these, like, from software issues with PvP-minded solutions because we're PvP-minded people here in this corner of the internet, and I understand that. But it's important, as always, that you take the time to consider how everything ties together and not just approach and think about how it's going to affect PvP, but how it's going to affect everything overall. And then there's just like the people who want to invade solo hosts and just bully them. I don't care if they don't get the game they want. I don't care. The people who want to bully solo hosts and then tell them to get good, those are the same people who don't want to fight groups. They don't want to get good at fighting a group of players. They don't want to get good at fighting gankers. They just want to beat up noobs and then tell them to get good. You know? Like, no, you get good. You get good at fighting a group of players. You invaded. You know, you went into hostile territory. That's what you get. That's what you get. They're not trying to die. It's your job to make them. I don't care if those people don't get the game that they want. On the other hand, the people who want 4v or the people who want 4-person co-op with no invasions, I don't care if they don't get the game that they want. I don't care. I don't care what they want. But for everybody in between, you know, no matter which side of the spectrum you're on, I would hope that you at least consider what I've said. I tried to make this video already, and it's just, it was 2 invasions, and it was against solo hosts, and I was showing off, like, look, this guy's running, he doesn't know what to do, and then look, this guy's stacked every possible advantage. It's going to take me 15 minutes to kill this guy, and it did. It took me 15 minutes. But that's only like a tip of the iceberg, really, for this topic, for this conversation. And the other thing is the game's not even out yet. It's not, you know, we'll just wait. We'll just wait, and the game will come out eventually. And maybe it ends up being super awesome. I don't know. Thanks for watching my video. I'll see you guys. I got more thrust and more videos coming. I just wanted to touch on this conversation while it was in the zeitgeist. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Later, y'all.